Hi guys, and welcome to my very first Q&A video. I have been asking questions on Instagram and YouTube. I've been asking you guys to ask me questions on Instagram and YouTube and other social media platforms for this video, and you have responded pretty well actually, and I have been answering a lot of questions. And then I went to edit this video and found out that half my footage off my camera had been cut off for some reason. So if you see a wardrobe continuity change, then that's why, because I've had to refilm the first half of this video. So let's get back down into those questions so I can answer them all over again. Yay! So the first question from Instagram is by Luna Elizabeth Scamander, and she asks, who's your favourite character to meet at Disneyland? My favourite character to meet at Disneyland is probably Chip and Dale. I have had so many great interactions with Chip and Dale on all of my Disney trips. My most memorable was this January when me and Joe went to Disneyland Paris, and we met them near Casey's Corner, and they took a liking to my Merida ears and were running around Main Street, top of Main Street, and I had to try and get them back. It was so funny. Love Chip and Dale. Robbie Simons 100 asks, which is your favourite musical? My favourite musical would have to be The Phantom of the Opera. It is a classic. It's just celebrated its 30th anniversary, and I can understand why. The music is so lush, the characters are so well written, and it's a great story. It's about a Phantom of the Opera. It's a ghost man who isn't really a ghost, and he's haunting this poor young girl who can sing really well, and she falls in love with someone else, and his heartbreak, it just resonates deeply with me. So definitely Phantom of the Opera. Matthew Wild asks on YouTube, what got you into vlogging? I would say it was a collection of watching various different YouTube accounts like 4 or 5 years ago. I don't watch some of those accounts now, but one of them is Sam for God, and I knew Sam anyway from going to London Theatre and seeing her in like the same places, mainly Wicked, and it just seemed like she was having a really good time, and it seemed like a fun thing to do. And of course it's a great way to document things that you're up to so you don't forget little moments, and it's all there on film. And yeah, that's what got me into vlogging. He then asks, were you nervous about going to DLP on your own? No, I wasn't actually. I felt very calm about it. I've done my first solo holiday to Spain when I was 18, and I go to London all the time on my own and stay over and stuff. So going to Disneyland Paris, it was a fairly straightforward process. Train from where I live to London, staying in a B&B right opposite St Pancras Station, walk to St Pancras Station first thing in the morning and get on the train, change at Leo. That was straightforward. And then I was at Disney, and Disney is a magical, safe place for me, and I never felt nervous at all about being on my own. It was great. I just loved being able to go about and do my own thing. It was fantastic. What am I most looking forward to about uni? I'm looking forward to having some independence and moving out, because I am going to be moving into student accommodation, and I think it's going to be great for me. It's going to be great for my family, because I can tell a little bit that they want me out of the house now. And just getting into the simulation suites and learning how to treat patients on the wards and stuff with the dummies, because in uni obviously we have to practice on dummies first rather than people. So that's going to be awesome. And then taking what I've learnt from those simulation units into practice, that's going to be amazing. I cannot wait for that to like transfer my skills and see how good I really am. The academic stuff, yeah, I'll get on to that. I need to, work on that, but I'm sure it'll be fine. And Matthew asks, if you could change one thing about DLP, what would it be? I would change Discoveryland. Like, I enjoy Space Mountain, and I get like they try to do a different style of theming to Discoveryland to what they've done to Tomorrowland in the American parks, but for me it doesn't work. So I would keep Space Mountain, I would keep Buzz Lightyear's Auto Blast, but I would change the look of things maybe, and I would have more. Like, I feel like there's not a lot to do in Discoveryland, I know they've got like the Jedi Training Academy and Star Tours, like when that reopens, and Autopia, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel like very space agey like I think it's supposed to, or like it's a world of tomorrow. It doesn't feel like that. And Discovery, I just don't feel like it's very meh. So definitely Discoveryland. Sam Tolfrey asked, if you were to be stranded on a desert island, what 3 things would you take and with you? I would take you, Sam Tolfrey, and then I would take a DVD player, and then I would take my entire DVD collection, Disney DVD collection, and we could just hang out, and Sam would be great for having a laugh with, and we'd watch the Disney movies and sunbathe and explore, and it would just be a laugh. Like, I'd love that. So yeah. Sam Vega asks, what do you think about the US presidential election, or just Donald Trump in general? I'm only going based on what I see through the media's point of view, I guess, and Trump seems like a bit of a prat, and I hope you guys get the result you all want. I don't know who all the Americans are rooting for as a whole, are generally rooting for. I think it's Hillary Clinton, isn't it? Out of the two. But yeah, I don't really follow politics. I did try and watch the last debate online the other day, and it just seemed to be a bit of a slanging match, and Donald Trump wasn't really putting forward what he was actually going to be doing for the country. It just seemed more like he was attempting to bring Hillary down because of that little tape that came out from things he said about women, which is disgusting and vile, like ew. But yeah, that's what I think about the presidential elections and Trump. He also says, do you like to read? If so, maybe make like YouTube videos about it. I am thinking about that, Sam. I do read occasionally. I don't always get a lot of time because I'm busy doing other things. But when I do read, I think I am going to make a point of doing a review on a book I've read and just putting it up on the tube of you for you guys all to see. And then, you know, it's... I would like to get some book recommendations actually, because I've got a few trips coming up where I'm going to be on journeys for a long time, and it would be nice to have something to read either on my Kindle or physically in my hand. So yeah, I'm definitely going to think about that, Sam, so thanks for that question. Sam also asked, do I ever plan to foster kids? Not really. My parents foster, and so I'm part of a fostering family, but I don't see me doing it immediately because I've got so much I want to do first, like uni, and I want to travel working as a nurse for a little bit, I think, afterwards, and like do a few like travelling holidays and stuff. There's stuff I really want to do before I settle down, get my own place, and then I would maybe think about children. I'm not feeling particularly broody, so I'm not in a rush, but it could happen one day, who knows. And then he asked, do you have any plans to come to NYC to see any shows? What do you want to see on Broadway? I would like to come to New York City. Again, it is on one of my travelling plans for when I graduate. I went to New York in 2011 and saw 3 shows, The Addams Family, Spider-Man and Sister Act. But I don't really know what I'd want to see in the future because Broadway's always changing. It's got a much more diverse and ever-changing amount of shows than London has. So it would have to be whatever's current at the time and whatever piques my interest. I would like to see Phantom of the Opera on Broadway just to see how theirs measures up to London's. But yeah, just whatever's going to be on at the time, I think. I definitely want to come back to Broadway at some point because I love Broadway in New York City. I've done most of the sites. I'd probably want to go shopping again to Macy's and Bloomingdale's because I never really got to experience those when I was there on my last trip. Next questions to be asked are from a lady called What Georgie Did Next. Hello Georgie, hope you're well. She's asked me quite a lot of questions, so I'll show you them all here and I'll go through them. The first question is, what's your favourite song from any musical ever? My favourite song from a musical would have to be Let the Sunshine In from Hair. I'm always singing that one, like, I don't know, it just makes me really happy, and I'm always just singing it to myself under my breath all the time. I sing lots of different musical songs, but that one seems to be the most common, where I was just going, let the sunshine. Or quite a few songs from Hair really, but mainly that one. Georgie also asks, are you into Hamilton the musical? No, I'm not. I am not a fan of hearing music from a musical until I actually go and see it. I feel like if I hear the music before I even know what the show is and what it's about, then I get an opinion. Like listening to a CD, the songs can be taken so out of context that you don't even know like what's going on, and then you can build it up in your head that way. Whereas not listening to something and then going and seeing it for the first time, I generally tend to love it more. It happened for me with Matilda. I enjoyed that when I saw it without hearing anything, and the same with Legally Blonde. I didn't hear anything from that show, even though it was so hard not to because the Broadway cast recording was everywhere, and then there was all that promo from Children in Need and stuff. I tried not to listen to any of it, and I went in and I loved the show, and it was like, oh my god. She also asked what am I looking forward to about uni, but Matt's just asked that, so you know what I've said. I'll move on to the next question. Do you prefer classic or contemporary Disney? I don't have a preference for either one really. I do tend to watch more of the modern contemporary Disney movies than I do some of the older ones. I guess there is a slight outdatedness about some of the older ones to me that just doesn't sit right with me and makes me feel in some ways a little uncomfortable, but I do like reminiscing, and we're currently going through the classics at the moment on a Disney Snapchat party group that we've got through Twitter and Snapchat obviously, and that's really, really good fun. We love passing comments to each other through snaps and, you know, sharing bits of the movie and saying what we think about them. It's really, really good fun, and I enjoy doing that. We're about to watch Lady and the Tramp this Sunday coming, which I'm uploading this on Monday, so you'll have seen it. I'll have seen that by now. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the other people in my Disney Snapchat group think of Lady and the Tramp. The final question from Georgie. Georgie asks, if you could only visit one Disney park for the rest of your life and distance and money wasn't an issue, which would you choose and why? If it was not an issue, I would definitely do Tokyo, and the reason why I think I would choose Tokyo is because I've never been to Japan, so I would love to go to Japan. They've also got a very different kind of park to the other Disney parks in the world. Well, they're all different, but Tokyo to me just seems a bit more out there and a bit more exotic in a way, I guess. They've got Disney Sea, for example, with like so many different kinds of rides that I don't think we have in Paris or in the American parks. They've got different characters, like I'd love to meet Bianca and Bernard from The Rescuers, and I really want to see for myself how freaky the fairy godmother is, because they put her in a mask, like, and it's like the scariest thing ever. And yeah, I just like to go to Tokyo and see Tokyo Disneyland. I just think it would be nice and warm there. Like the temperature in that is supposed to be really nice in the spring and the summer and the autumn even. And it'd just be a really nice experience. I've seen the Alice in Wonderland themed quick service restaurant they've got there. I really want to go there and see what that's like, because I am a little bit of a fan of Alice in Wonderland. It is one of my top movies. So yeah, Tokyo Disney for me. And the final questions are from Beth MGX, and she asks, what is your favourite social media platform? Really hard choice, Beth. I go through phases with my media social platforms. At the minute I'm all about the Twitter. I recently reached 400 followers on Twitter, which is amazing. At my current count, when I checked this morning, I was at 410. Not that for me it's about the followers, but it's great because I've met so many new people online in the Disney community who I'm part of like Snapchat parties with, and we've met up and done like Aladdin the musical together, and there's always a banter and talk on Twitter, and we can just like connect. You can instantly like send a tweet to someone and then they'll reply back like pretty quick or whatever, and within the conversations you can have, private conversations, you can put something down and someone will reply back to you within that group, and it's just like, I love Twitter at the minute. But then I also go through a phase of loving Instagram, posting my photos and putting filters on and seeing what other people think of those photos. It's always nice to get comments across like all my social media platforms, and YouTube as well. I go through up and down periods of loving YouTube and then not so much loving YouTube. And Facebook's probably my least favourite because I always upload my photos and stuff last to there. Everything else seems to go on Snapchat or Twitter or Instagram, and then I'm like, oh, I need to put that on Facebook, otherwise it'll be forgotten about. So, and it's a way, like Facebook is mainly for my family to keep a hold of me, whereas all my other media platforms are mainly for my friends. So, yeah. She also asks, what is your favourite theatre in the West End? My favourite theatre in the West End, oh, that's a hard choice. I've not visited them all yet, but I really like the Prince Edward. It's one I've spent a lot of time in over the last 2 years, like with Miss Saigon and now Aladdin. Like, I've seen Aladdin once, but yeah, I was at the Prince Edward like 14 times in the last year for Miss Saigon. That's really nice in that. They obviously reupholstered the seats when Miss Saigon came in, and everything just looks so modern but like retro, like it's stuck to the period that the theatre was built in. I also like the Prince of Wales for the same reason, because Cameron Mackintosh has been refurbing all of his theatres and he's sort of given them all a similar look where possible. So the Prince of Wales is a really nice theatre. But another theatre that is probably one of my favourites is Her Majesty's Theatre, where Phantom of the Opera is playing. I do like that. I like going down into the stalls when I get to sit in the stalls and the bar area, and then just the general look of the auditorium in itself. It looks like a small theatre, but then you see like there's so many levels of seating and it goes so high and so far back, and it's like, wow, like it's a really cool theatre. So yeah, I can't really give you a clear answer on that one. Prince Edward, Prince of Wales and Her Majesty's. And then her final question is, which Disney film do you think is the most underrated? I think the most underrated Disney film is Hercules. Hercules is one of my favourites, but apparently it wasn't that popular when it came out, according to Sarah Snitch in her Down to Disney videos. But I feel like it's become popular as the years have gone on, but it's definitely underrated. I mean, it's got some great tunes. It's got like this whole gospel theme going on with the muses. Zero to Hero is one of my favourites, and I Won't Say I'm in Love, I Can Go the Distance. Those are all great songs. I would love to see Hercules be a musical at some point, like on West End stage. I don't think it's going to happen now because its time has passed. But yeah, definitely Hercules for an underrated musical. And that was my Q&A video, guys. Thank you for all your questions. I've tried to answer all of them, and if you missed out on asking me a question this time, don't worry, because when I hit another milestone on my subscriber count, I may do another Q&A video, but I'm not relying on that for definite. So, you know, I'm just doing these as and when, because I think they're fun and it helps you guys get to know me a bit better. Thank you again for watching. Give this video a thumbs up, comment down below and subscribe, and I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.